So in this video, I want to start demonstrating some exercises for the plantar fascia. Plantar fasciitis is probably one of the most common foot ailments that a person suffers from. And what we're talking about is this fascial sheath that runs from the front end of your calcaneus. It kind of runs and past these kind of joints right here, all right? So past the metatarsal phalangeal joints right here, and they kind of attach through there. So if you actually take the foot into this position, so imagine someone going to that position, into their toes, that's really putting a lot of stress into the fascia. So when we're doing our fascial techniques, we want to make sure that the toes are kind of in a little bit more of a relaxed or flexed position, so we're not putting all that stress into the actual fascial sheath. So we have a chance to get it to relax. It's not under tension, so we can actually do some release, if you want to call it, of this plantar fascia. Now, to demonstrate it, one of the first exercises I typically do is I'll use a ball. It could be a big ball, it could be a small ball, it could be a foam roller, whatever you want to use, all right? So softball, lacrosse ball, you could use any standard foam roller. And we're just going to basically do it now. You could do it sitting, you could do it standing. Obviously, it's going to be less uncomfortable if you do it sitting because you don't have all your weight in it. To start with, I want to use the ball. Now I want you to think about like curling your toes kind of over the top of the ball. If this was a foam roller, you do the same thing. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of start, and we're just going to kind of put a little bit of weight into it to what you can tolerate. And if you remember what we talked about previously, we talked about the pain receptor versus a proprioceptor. So your fascia has a lot of proprioceptors in them, but the pain receptors are generally getting to the brain and processed first. So if there's any discomfort through here, the pain receptors are going to pick it up first. And what they're going to do is create, obviously as a protective mechanism, a little bit more contraction in the area. So the first thing I want you to do is just find that tender spot. So there's my tender spot right there. And I'm just going to sit on it for about 10, maybe up to 15 seconds. So if we're counting off 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, the proprioceptors are inhibiting some of the pain receptors, and now the tissue is relaxing a little bit. Now we have a chance to actually realign any of those fascial tendrils or release a lot of that tight fascia. So we're going to kind of just move through, and you just kind of simply keeping your toes kind of curled. Don't put the tension to the fascia by doing this kind of stuff where your foot is in that position. All right? Just simply move around, and as you get more comfortable with it, you can get out of the chair, you can stand like I'm doing right now, and you can even lean and load into it a little bit more to get a little bit more pressure on there, but it's really just a matter of your discomfort. Try and get a lot into the two arches. If you recall from an earlier video, I talked about the medial longitudinal arch. That's the inside of the foot, because that's where a lot of that tight fascia is. And then, if you can, come to kind of where the metatarsal heads are, because that's where that distal transverse arch is. And what you want to do is to kind of really get into that area, because there's a lot of tender tissue in that area right there. And you just do this for a period of time. 30 seconds would be a good start. Ideally, anything between 90 and 120 seconds would be fantastic. And once you've got that, now we can progress to starting to strengthen some of these weak muscles that generally exist within the foot. And I'm going to take you through a series of exercises in the next video.